Hi everyone, it's me, Nanette, and Mehernez. Say hi, because
Yay. Hi, everyone.
we're doing the full moon. I think, I think it's the wolf moon, the Leo wolf moon.
The Leo Wolf Moon. You got it right.
Yay! I don't even know how I did it, but okay. The Leo wolf moon, which is tomorrow, the 28th, right?
It's tomorrow at 2:17 Eastern time,
PM or AM?
PM.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my energy feelings for it, and then she'll do the astrology. So last week I put a video out on the purge. My sister said, she said, "Is that about the?" I thought maybe is that about the movie? I was like, I never watched that movie on the purge, and so I think it's all kind of tied in. So energy can flow, and so you can start all of the stuff that the full moon will pull in before. You can start it during. You can start it after. It's just kind of like a portal. I see it kind of like as a energetic portal to help you on your path. If that's what you choose. Of course, I always believe that not everyone is so sensitive to energy, but so last week I talked about the purge.
hmm
And after the purge, I feel like the energy was in place to really start healing. Um, Healing from your dark night of the soul, if you did that already, healing from, you know, anything that was building up that came out in your purge. um, I think it keeps coming in my head. So I'm just going to say, I feel like people may have actually been throwing up too with this purge.
hmm
Physically, if you fight it, sometimes it comes out that way. So there's the purge, there's the healing, and now it feels like kind of an opportunity. The moon feels like an opportunity for you to align and to become even more of who you are as a soul, more of who your higher self is. And I think this is key, and this is just, it's a step thing in my opinion, because I've been doing this over and over. I think there's a part of it where you need to oh my god, what's the word, give me the word, where you need, what is the, hold on, I think I wrote it down, because I'm so, why am I, oh, like a surrender, like, so it's another level of surrender. So you do this, you peeled, now you surrender, you kind of, you don't give up. This is all to help you move forward on your path. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is giving up control so that you can be guided better onto your path, because you already know what you want, right? So you're going to surrender, stand more in your own power, and then you're going to see how things start. When you stand in your power, things start to come to you instead of you chasing after them. You start to understand that everything that you want or need is already within you, and so it'll manifest out in the world. I don't know why I'm giving this. This wasn't even in my
Absolutely.
plan. Okay, so
I
that's
just spoke
that's what
about
I'm
that.
feeling. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. So I'm gonna turn it over to you. Go ahead.
Beautiful, Nanette. No, you're always, I love hearing your point of view before I give that on because you're always so on point. So, what is going on right now? So, first of all, it is the full moon. So, the full moon is about, the release period. But there is a sense of newness with this full moon too because, we're just coming out. The solstice, which was at 1 degree Aquarius, brought in this whole shakeup of the age of the Aquarius, and which is all about freedom and forward movement, but the kind of freedom which frees your soul, or releasing any old paradigms and moving forward into what really it takes for you, and not what's expected, and any of that, right? But that was just the forward movement. But then the purge that happened because there was a giant Pluto transit, and whenever Pluto comes in, it always brings in that depth rebirth and reconstruction.
Oh.
So and it was in Mercury, which was the mind. So the entire our minds were like, being reconstructed. So that's what was happening. And I felt that too. I created this video on how to deal with abandonment because I was talking to so many people who are dealing with specific things, and those specific things that were being triggered. It was not just about the event, it was about all of the things throughout their that it was bringing up for them across
Mhm.
lifetimes. Some people were purging across lifetimes, because when you are
Mhm.
releasing that wound, you are claiming the release of that wound from your soul's trajectory across lifetimes. So that was what was happening. And now the reason the newness is there is because the full moon is in Leo, and Leo is all about living from your heart, because Leo rules the heart, and it's all about like really like shining your light from your heart and just being. And I was just talking about that we sometimes, when we are just in our center, as we have processed the healing, or as we are towards the end of processing a healing period, and you're in your center, and you're not that distracted, and then life just kind of comes to you. And that's the
Mhm.
energy of Leo, where if you are just being and not doing, and just like aligned, and then just kind of watch for the signs, and see what's coming to you, and then accordingly respond to what's coming to you, instead of going to look for it. Because we have a Uranus and Mars T square around the sun and the moon. So it's not, the difficult period is not completely over. Let's put it that way. So there is still the processing that is happening after the wound, right? And so that's this T square, but this T square can bring a very shaky energy, because Uranus shakes things up, and Mars, of course, gives that gung ho to it, gives that energy to shake things up, and it's happening in Taurus, this whole square. So if you are like still on a lower octave, then what you're experiencing is a sudden earthquake inside you, because it's literally the shaking up of Earth, of Taurus, and with a lot of passion and a lot of power of Mars. And so there could be like conflicts, there could be just sudden changes. So not focusing on change for the sake of change, and power struggle for the sake of power struggle, and endings for the sake of endings, and then thinking about the higher octave of what this is bringing for you, which is you have now the ability and the power and the strength to break free out of these old belief systems. uh,
Freedom. Yes, freedom, freedom,
it's
freedom,
freedom,
freedom.
yes,
Yes.
yes. It is bringing the freedom of shifting things, the releasing the shadow side of the masculine, because as the sun is in Leo, the moon is in Aquarius, they're opposing signs, and in the full moon the sun opposes the moon, so we're still playing out the Aquarian theme. It is bitches being brought in by Leo. So the the end result is that freedom, releasing of fear-based decision making, releasing of the shadow side of the masculine, releasing of just letting your internal soul shine, letting speaking from your heart and your soul, allowing your creation to happen, because Leo is also about creation and creativity. So what are the new projects that are there's so many new projects you may be birthing. It's time for you to
Mhm.
shine, and it's time for you to kind of bring things into birth, and it's time for you to do things with courage. And the other cool thing about Leo is just apart from the shining of the light and all of the is that it actually is the sign of love. It is in the house of love. So it's also about manifesting, and it could be manifesting either your creation, or manifesting a soulmate, or any kind of manifestation that happens with your heart center
Mhm.
forward. And the shadow side of Leo is the ego. So if you can easily get caught up in this Uranus Mars square, where you're working out of your ego and getting into like like a dispute or a fight, or whatever it is, like it's happening in the political realm right now, like me versus you, picking sides and
Mhm.
all of that, and then coming to a decision with that. But really, if you just look into the higher octave of Leo, and how the love and the joy flows as you give, because Leo is also very generous. So if you're looking at giving and bringing people in, and it's a great time to like literally gather together in circle. It's party time. The moon is
Mhm.
Leo. It's party time. Like Leo likes to shine. It likes to like gather. And the generous side of Leo, if you're looking into really bonding and friendships, there is another thing happening with friendships, which is very important. We have Venus conjunct Pluto right now. So your relationships or your friendships or your partnerships or your value system is going through complete reconstruction as well. So you are kind of deciding, what what you want to what is really working for you or is beneficial for you, and what isn't,
Mhm.
in a sense. And going through that reconstruction, just be objective as you go through it. Don't just kind of end friendships because of the T square to Mars, like don't let the quarrels and all of that come into play, and just be very mindful of what you're choosing, and what look at what reality is showing up, and just keep responding to that reality with generosity, with an open heart, and and really, as because what and that's the piece where you're saying what the way we come across to the world is how the world comes across to us. If you're generous in giving, and that's what will be returned to you. If you're ego based and egocentric, that's what will be returned to you. So it's very much right now in play about, as we come out of these wounds and as we transition, what is who is the new you, like, what values are making the new you. so
Can I
so
add something right here?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you kept coughing, and it reminds me of,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if you watched my energy of the masculine and feminine that I put up yesterday.
No, that one I still have to
Very
watch.
similar to stuff you're saying, but as I got ready to talk about the masculine, I could barely breathe. And right now you were just, yeah, I was like, um, right now you were just coughing a lot. And so what came into my head is yes, and also to remember to speak your truth, but do it gently. Because the words that were coming out of your mouth and the fact that you were coughing, remember to speak your truth because you're bringing in your own power, right? But do it
Mhm.
gently. So I wanted to add that. Go ahead.
Love it. Beautiful. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I'm just parched. I've been talking for 2 hours. But yeah, no, you have a point for sure. It's interesting, even though there is always a physical reason for it. It's interesting when it comes through, and it comes through when you're speaking about something and that you may or may not be comfortable about. I love how everything has a reason and is aligned. So thank you for bringing that up.
Mhm.
But really, that is what we are purging. We're purging the old systems, and of the shoulds, the should have, could have, the guilt trips, the what needs to happen, or all of that, which is the shadow side of the structure of the masculine, and the feminine is just really going with the flow, and really allowing the flow, and really understanding the flow, and being, and just being instead of doing, and allowing for it, for life to come to you instead of, and that doesn't mean you stop creating. In fact, it's all about creating. And but
You have to watch this video I did yesterday. You're just saying a lot of it. It's so similar to what I put out yesterday. It's
I have
cracking me
to
up.
now.
Yes, go on. I don't mean to keep interrupting. I'm just like,
No.
what?
I love it. I love it when you're in sync, because we're always validating each other, and we all need that validation. So thank you. And
Mhm.
but yeah, that theme is really so brought up by the Leo Aquarius theme. Also, Axis is also about um, you and the collective. So Leo is the self, and the Aquarius is the collective, and what that means really is, um, where is your place in the collective? Like, how do you balance out that my needs are met, but I'm also meeting the needs of the collective, and my needs being met are in sync with the needs of the collective. And, as I help them, they help me. And that is the synchronicity, because but from for a lot at this point in time, when this axis comes up, that theme always comes up, like, am I giving too much away to others, and too much of myself to others, or am I being recognized for my contribution in the collective or the groups that I'm in? Am I allowed to shine my light for what I'm doing, and so on and so forth. That is the axis of Leo and Aquarius, and some people who have that in their chart, actually it's a life theme. So it definitely gets highlighted around this time, the
Mm.
me versus the we, and how to align that, so it's all, because in the end, I know this sounds cliche, but it is the truth. We all are one. We come from the one source. And once we understand that oneness, once we understand how to live in that harmony, because really by you contributing, you are only contributing to the collective. You're not working it's not a competition. I don't know how else to, that's the masculine way, the politics, the competition, the bigger structures, that create that.
That's the distorted masculine
The
way.
distorted mass.
Distorted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I wanted to.
Absolutely. Because I'm not trying to sound like a feminist here, but
No,
yeah, I
no,
mean,
it's not that. It's not the divine masculine way. It's the distorted masculine way that the divine masculines are working to balance right now. That's why
that
I
is
said that.
so true. That is very
Yeah.
true. I feel like, it's very interesting, because when this whole in this whole last month, a lot of the divine feminines were going through their wounds, and healing their wounds, and at that point in time, that if say you were, I've seen that, like, working with certain couples as well, where the divine masculine is learning how to hold space as the divine feminine learns how to come into her power. So it's that, so they are learning how to really be in their divinity, and
Well, I talked about that in the video too. That's so funny. So these are people who are probably more newly awakening. And I talked about how the feminines are like, you're not taking me through this crap, not again. Because the whole
yeah,
last year we've been drugged
yeah,
back and and the fact that the masculine, whether they were aware of it or not, because the divine feminine rose first, held the space for the divine feminine to do this stuff first. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that. It's a team. You've got to watch the video. I don't know. We need
oh
to
my
stop talking about that
I
during this,
know.
but oh my God, it's
I
amazing.
have to
Yes,
now.
you
But really,
should. It was.
that's what's been happening, because
Mhm.
it's a thing, right? It's the when you learn to stand up to self-love, then everything around you kind of aligns with that, and if you
Mhm.
learn to respect yourself, everyone around you will learn to respect you. And I think that is the theme that the entire divine feminine is kind of going through. Everyone I spoke to, I'm like, oh, this is insane how much everyone was going through the same thing. And it's not, again, these were wounds that were just triggering older things, like,
Mhm.
because the divine feminine has had many lifetimes of that, that archetypical, the power being, and how gracefully the divine masculine was learning how to hold space for them. That part, and how they would step up to it, is the part that amazed me the most. And I mean, of course, not all of them are there yet, but the ones that they're evolving, and it's a step by step process. If it doesn't
Mhm.
happen now, then it will continue to happen throughout the year.
No, everybody does it your whole life. I mean, just
Mhm.
do not get the idea that you're going to get to perfection here. I mean, you get to a level and you're like, I have done it. I've been doing this for years. Okay. I finally did it. Look at me. I'm here. And then you're like, whoop, gotta look at this. And it just goes, you're just stepping more fully into your power. That's what it's about. Yeah.
Right. And for, yes, for some people that is part of their life theme about stepping into their power. And for some people it is about, when they've had too much of their power, they're learning how to balance that power. And it's
Mhm.
right. It is a journey. It is an experience. You basically continue the experience until it neutralizes the charge for you. And then the next experience shows up and the next lesson shows up. And then it
Mhm.
goes on, right? And because if we were
Yep.
all kind of done with it, then we would all have all ascended by now, right? We'd have all been Buddhas. Just saying. So you're right about that, about it being a continuous experience. But
I
each
mean,
step,
even when you're ascended, you're gonna find, because where are we ascending to? What, the fifth dimension for now, right? So there's dimensions beyond that. And when you're in the human form, but clearly, just to be clear, we're all fully ascended beings that came here to do this on this dimension. And you're bringing it. That's what so many people are like, oh, I can do this now. I can do that now. Oh, I can heal now. I can channel now. No, you can't now. You're remembering because you have all these abilities already, and you're just bringing them in from other spaces. Once you start ascending, you can reach different things. You can reach more of who you are as a soul, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah.
you just get more and more and more aligned to your soul's trajectory, I guess, as you go along.
And
But
then you
but
heal things for other people too. It's so much fun.
it
No, I'm
really
just
is,
it
you
is though.
I mean, the teaching part is, the learning part isn't, but it's growth. It's growth, and if there is no challenge, there will be no growth. So,
Right.
growth and boundaries and beautiful things. So yeah, well, so Venus conjunct Pluto will really help with understanding and boundaries, and there could be a lot of shiftings and endings and finalizations and stuff like that with that. But there is a beautiful thing happening because Jupiter and Sun are conjunct, so, and the Sun is in Leo, so there is a lot of like light and joy and like fortune and new things being created, and just a lot of newness in the environment
Mhm.
after all that deep stuff and purging. There's just so much newness in the environment, and it's bringing that in, um
The freedom.
the freedom in, the joy,
Mhm.
even the creation. It's
Mhm.
from the heart. You're really creating. You just want to be aligned with what you really enjoy, and what there's just no more
Mhm.
of anything else that's not really aligned. But yeah, just being careful about like distractions. Too many distractions and too many addictions right now. So be careful of that, because if some of that shakeup can, you need to be very mindful, because just keep focusing on what's showing up for you, and what is not aligning, don't go chasing after that, because the moon is also trying Chiron, so that can bring that up. We are very emotional, and our deepest wounds are healing. It's so Chiron's very healing, but in the process, you don't want to, you just have to kind of stick to, because we're shifting so much, right? There is a sense of, don't forget your center as you shift. You
Mhm.
are taking on a new personality, but that is the reason you need to keep the distractions and the addictions away, so you are really, moving into what is coming through for you, and really observing in this current moment what is just coming automatically to me, and I'm not gonna push that too much, and just be.
Yes. That was good. Yay.
Yay,
Well,
love
thank
it.
you.
No, thank you. I
I
always love
hope it
talking to
helped.
you because it's heart to heart, so there's so much that
Yeah.
comes through very smoothly.
Yes. Well, hopefully we didn't bore them too much with the extra stuff, but that's okay. That's okay. I hope it was helpful for everyone. If it was, please like, share, subscribe, and
Please do.
happy full moon, Leo wolf moon. Oh,
I had
oh
to do
my God,
that.
we're so dorky.
I can't believe we both did that together. We got to get better with our howls. That was not a good howl.
Yeah, but I have dogs, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm not a good howler." All right, well, we love you all.
Love you
Mwah.
all. We're not Janes yet, but we'll get there. Just kidding. But have a happy full moon, everyone.
Happy full moon.